David with 3 Orcs. Today I'm going to cover a new location in Viscounty for the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign. My project is the Verbobonc Campaign Guide 576 Common Year to be used in the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign for the 576 timeline. But of course you can use these keyed locations in any timeline that you run Greyhawk in. The purpose of this is to run the Temple of Elemental Evil campaign as an epic, more sandbox type campaign. So that way, all the villages, just like the village of Hamlet, is fully keyed, expanded with non-player characters, organizations, military, shops. Everything's laid out and detailed with some dialogue as quests. So no matter where the players go in the area of the Viscounty of Verbobonc, the Gnarly Forest, the Wild Coast, the Cron Hills, Greenway Valley, Luna Ferrandi, the players will be able to adventure there for whatever reasons that they come up with. As a DM, you can't always tell what the players might do in a campaign, especially if it's a big, epic kind of campaign where you start from the very beginning and the players engage into the campaign world and bring it to life. It's good to have all these different villages and locations fully keyed, so you'll be well prepared. Today I'm going to cover a Dwarven settlement. It's from the Living Greyhawk modules. There's a whole Dwarven quest line from Living Greyhawk. Now Living Greyhawk is running their timeline in like 598 Common Year, but these locations still exist no matter what timeline you run the campaign in. So even if the players are running the original Temple of Elemental Evil campaign and they decide to go over there, it's going to be ready to be used. Not just that though, let's say you have a dwarf in your party and you want to give him a background location. Where did he come from? And so you could actually say that this dwarf is from Rockhall. Now what's really important about this location is not only is it a great starter location for a dwarf, which is one of the few dwarven settlements in the area, but it's also instrumental to another quest line in Living Greyhawk called Noble Ambitions, because their players get recruited by Lady Eleanor Osberry to seek out and reclaim her lost treasures during the Battle of Emerald Meadows. While in that dungeon, they find a prisoner there, as a dwarf from Rockhall, on a quest to find the lost fabled city of the dwarves that was lost a millennia ago. He was captured in his quest, and the players will rescue him. And then when the players succeed and return the jewels to Lady Osberry, they'll find out that she's in desperate need of a smith for her village. That's a link for the players to get involved with the Dwarven quest line. If there's a dwarf in the party, that could be more of a link. You could tie that in. That's where Rockhall comes in to be a very important location in this campaign. Not only does this NPC come from there with a background and NPCs he knows, but the Dwarven player would as well. If the players decide to follow up on that quest line, then that location is ready for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map and the article, and we'll go from there. The first thing we're going to look at is the splash screen for the Verbobonc Campaign Guide 576 Common Year on World Anvil. This is a public-facing website that all Dungeon Masters can use in their campaign. You can actually run this. I created this website and these articles to be used at the table, so it's fully referenceable at the table while you're running the game. If you scroll down past the introduction to this campaign, what it's all about, there is an interactive map on the splash screen. It's embedded smaller, and if you click on Open Full Size, it'll take up the whole screen for you, but we're not going to do that right this minute. I'm going to scroll past the introduction video that I made. On the left is a table of contents that you can find all the locations for this campaign. If I click on Atlas, you'll see that I have a category for the Viscounty, for Celene, for all the forests, like the Gnarly Forest, hills and mountains, rivers. The city itself is a separate article, which is fully keyed. If I click on the Verbobonc Viscounty, that's a list of all the villages I've keyed so far, equivalent or more than the actual village of Hamlet was in the T1 module. So the players, if they go there, you're fully prepared to run them through that village. Even if they just stop for the night and stay at the inn, at least you can give them rumors, recruit henchmen, get help, or whatever is needed for the campaign. So in the table of contents, under hills and mountains, I placed Lortmil Mountains. And in Lortmil Mountains is Rockhall. So I placed any villages I create for that area, the Lortmil Mountains, in this category. And on this article, here is just a description of the Lortmil Mountains, its geography and description and the history of the Lortmils. As you can see, these are bullet point facts. There's great original articles written by Greyhawk lore experts in the past that are really large and a slog to read through. I highly recommend reading them. So the Dungeon Master will be very familiar with the material, but they're not very useful to be run at the table for quick reference. That's where this comes in. Now you can use this website to reference it. And if you scroll down, it talks about the dwarves and the Hateful Wars. The Hateful Wars is a separate article. Every article has its own artwork and maps too, by the way. So below that, some towns and settlements and communities. So I outline all that stuff, including the giant eagles, anything about the Lortmil Mountains. Further down, there's a conclusion of the history and the Hateful Wars. The one article I have written so far for the Lortmil Mountains, besides the history, is Rockhall. So the Rockhall is right here on the bottom, but also if you scroll up on the right-hand side, this is a bunch of stock art that I have, is included locations on the right is Rockhall and Clan Rockhall. So there's two different articles. Rockhall is the village. Clan Rockhall is the organization. It's the clan. And of course, I'm going to go to the map and I'm going to show you how that works. Scroll down to the maps. And the map we're looking for is Verbobonc Viscounty. You can follow along on this website. It's public facing, so you can go to World Anvil and read these articles yourself. The main interactive map is the full map of the entire Viscounty. I'm going to scroll down and zoom in here to the Lortmil Mountains area. We're going to go to Rockhall. So as you can see, south of Greenway Valley is a hidden valley. It's a hidden river coming through the middle of the mountain range. Rockhall is placed right there. So is Iron Delve. But today we're going to talk about Rockhall. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it pops up a sub-menu on the left. As you can use this article as is for your campaign when you're running it. All the pertinent information is here on this screen. If you scroll to the very bottom, past all this information, you're going to get to read full article. We'll go ahead and click on that, and then it's going to pop up the full screen. Now the full screen of Rockhall is, I got an image of the Lortmil Mountains. There's an introduction to Rockhall, what it's all about. Below that, I wrote a history of Rockhall. Now a lot of this base information I got from the Living Greyhawk modules, and then I just expanded it greatly to create this village location in the Lortmils to be used in your campaign. I have a description of the geography and the location. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of links here. The first link in the article is a link to dwarves. Now, this website has almost everything you need to run the game in Greyhawk. I have all the races, all the gods, all the holy symbols, all the church organizations, all the military organizations. So the dwarves are listed here in case you need to reference dwarves real quick, which will be useful running at the table. The next link below that is the history of Clan Rockhall. So that way you can be familiar and at a moment's notice be able to reference the history of Clan Rockhall while you're trying to roleplay this. And if you scroll down further to the geography, I have a link to the Greenway Valley, which is the neighbor of Rockhall, the gnome community to the south, to the north. And below that is another link back to the Lortmil Mountains in case you need to reference something there. And below that is society and culture, basically the Dwarven society, everything you need to know, the basics of it. And the religion there, which of course is Moradin. And the politics and governance, which is a clan council and relationships with the gnomes is outlined as well. I outlined the economy and the trade, the military defense, the guardians of Rockhall. And then below that is the actual locations in Rockhall. So normally when I create a village, all these locations in the village are separate articles. But since this is more off the beaten path of the main campaign to the Temple of Elemental Evil, I'm not 100% sure how many Dungeon Masters will ever use this location. So I didn't want to spend hours creating separate articles for every shop location within the village. So I just left it here on this main page. If it's ever needed in the future, I'll go ahead and expand it then. Real quick about Rockhall. As you surmise, the Dwarven settlement of Rockhall is located deep in the Lortmil Mountains. It's renowned for its craftsmanship and armor and weapons. The dwarves of Clan Rockhall, under the leadership of Thornblade Rockspitter, proud community with deep connections to the ancestral stronghold Orthac Nor. Orthac Nor is the ancient dwarven citadel lost millennia ago. And the secret of that is it was taken over by mind flayers back in the way past. And they lost the location of that city too, so they're searching for it. It's much like the Mines of Moria in Lord of the Rings, pretty much. The same kind of thematic history. The history of Rockhall goes back to the fall of Orthac Nor. The Great Citadel, abandoned during the Hateful Wars. It's a series of brutal conflicts cleared the Lortmil Mountains of humanoid tribes that left many dwarven strongholds in ruin. Then there's the rebuilding of Rockhall. So Clan Rockhall, led by Rockspitter lineage, established their settlement in the wake of the devastation and crafted a new home amidst the mountains, retaining the dream of reclaiming their ancestral citadel. That's the basics of the foundation and why this place exists. But scrolling back up to the top of the article on the right-hand side, I created an image of the gates getting into Rockhall. And the coat of arms for Rockhall, for Clan Rockhall, is in that image too, in the bottom left-hand corner. That was actually taken from the Living Greyhawk module. And I thought it was really nice, so I added it to the image. The notable figures there is the clan elder, Thornblade Rockspitter, and he's a priest of Moradin. He is the son of Olgar the Defender and Genlidia, a priestess of Barenor Truesilver, giving him strong spiritual and marital lineage. The clan storyteller is Sadinde Dordinhat. He's the renowned weaponsmith to Rask Durindhart. He serves as the clan storyteller. His duty is to preserve and recite the clan's history. The next important person at this location is Flaith Bloodblade and Kravusa. They're the chief agents of Thornblade. He's a seasoned warrior and sees a mute albino half-orc barbarian. Kravusa is known for her brutal efficiency and unwavering loyalty to the clan. If you don't like that in your campaign, just don't use it. But it's something different to give flavor to the campaign. Below that is a picture of a map, like a 3D isopropyl map of the Rockhall region that you could use if you like. It's got a small river running through that valley. And the mines are listed on there too, where they're located at. But they're not exact positioning on the image. But it's good enough for role-playing purposes. The population is 300. Below that is another image of the Rockhall banner from Living Greyhawk. And below that is notable locations. So number 1 is the Raggedy Wall. Number 2 is the Flame Gaze Tavern Inn. 3 is the Imperator's Hall. 4 is Shadowtop Mines. 5 is Clanging Halls. 6 is Singe Roost. 7 is Little Lordling's Inn. 8 is Hawker's Maze. 9 is Halfling Town, so there's a small community of halflings. 10 is the Middens, and 11 is the Upper Mines. 12 is Last Tower. On the left-hand side, scrolling up to the top here are the notable locations. I had them all, in some cases, dialogue, or I put some flavor text in there to be able to describe the location. So the tavern, it's got one tavern, and it's lively, and it's run by Sadra Flamegaze. And so there's enough description here to run that tavern to roleplay with if you like. And below that is the hall, the Thane Hall, and then describe the mines and the halls. So it's all listed here of short descriptions of what these locations look like. At the very bottom is the spoiler. These spoilers are for Dungeon Master eyes only. Tell your players not to click on that and read it, or it'll ruin the campaign for themselves and everybody else. You just got to trust your players that they don't actually read this stuff, because it's important. There's a lot of important campaign information, a lot of these articles in the spoiler. This one is simply only rumors. There's nothing to give the campaign away in this particular spoiler. It's just a list of rumors and plot points you could use in your campaign to give you some ideas. Like, a group of adventurers are loudly boasting that they will be the ones to uncover the acts of the Dwarvish lords from the giant ruins to the north. See, it's a good plot hook you could use in your campaign. I put stuff like that in a lot of the spoilers, and I also put dialogue in some of these spoilers, including more quests. But this particular location, I kept it pretty simple. What do you think? Do you think you'll be using it in your campaign for running the Temple of Elemental Evil, or another adventure maybe in the area of Greyhawk? Do you think this location is perfect for a dwarf background? Or maybe you'll be running the Dwarven Living Greyhawk series. If you happen to have copies of the Living Greyhawk series for the Dwarven line of quest, maybe you can use this location article for that as well. Let me know if anything you'd like to see more of, or changes to these websites. If you want to support this project, please come to my 3 Orcs Discord. We talk about this campaign every day as I work on these articles and get this campaign done, flushed out, and going from town to town, adding more information, adding more articles, drawing maps, custom maps that you can get on the Discord. Now, this is all public facing, which follows the Wizards of the Coast fan content policy. If you want higher resolution maps or images, I offer that to my Patreon members as well.
Did you enjoy video? consider tossing support on my Patreon. It best way to support orcs. If you would like to see more content, subscribe and post comments below. It better not be bad.
Thank you for watching my video bringing traditional Dungeons & Dragons back to life. Happy adventuring and may your dice roll true.